is Shock Hits with Chloe Yates.
Mark Ronson with Stop Me on Shock Radio. Hello, it is Wednesday afternoon. Chloe Yates here. Hello, how are you diddling? Right, I'll be with you here until 6 o'clock. So it is the second week of the show for Shock Radio. And guess what? It's nearly Halloween. So if you didn't catch my show last week, you can listen to my voice on Mixcloud. It's a bit of a dreary voice, I do apologise, but if you do like it, I think it's all right. You stick me on, I'm on Mixcloud, so just type in Shock Radio on Mixcloud, and all of our shows are on there. Or I have my very own YouTube page for this show, which is Shock Hits on YouTube. If you do want to drop me a tweet as well, it is @ Shock Hits Live. Now, I'm sure you're excited about Halloween, and maybe it's, I don't know, a time to wear the most hideous outfit existing, or maybe it's, I don't know, an opportunity to wear maybe something as little as possible, I suppose. But because it's Halloween, it is the only day where you can wear pretty much anything. And to be honest, today, I'm wearing pretty much anything. People have been commenting on my outfit today. I'm wearing a NASA top and bright yellow joggers. It's not a great look. Some absolute tunes bringing your way anyway. It's Wednesday afternoon. We've got One Republic and Pharrell Williams on its way. Plus, throughout the show, I will be telling you some chilling true stories to get you ready for Halloween. So brace yourselves, my pretties. It's gonna be a good one. This one is Stop and Stare, One Republic. It is Shock Radio. I'm Chloe Yates with you until 6 o'clock.
This town is colder now. I think it's sinking. I've become what I can't be. Oh, do you see what I
Shock Hits plays music like this.
Because you know I'm all about that bass, no chill.
And this. This is Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want.
Pharrell Williams with Happy on award-winning student station Shock Radio. Hello, sweetie. Thanks for keeping my company on this chilly Wednesday afternoon. We have gossip on Amanda Holden's Bottom coming up. Plus, if I have some chilling horror tales, would you listen to them carefully? Because I don't want to scare you too soon, but Halloween is on Friday, so I do have some chilling tales prepared for you. So if you're sitting in a quiet area, I might just make you jump, so maybe move somewhere a little bit louder. But for now, what is important is that we have massive tunes on our way. We've got tunes we love from John Newman and Tiesto, but let's crack on. Now, this is absolute tune. It's Charlie XCX. New song, it's Super Love on Shock Radio. John Newman with Out of My Head on Shock Radio. Absolute tunes. Keep tweeting in. It's @ Shock Hits Live. Now, seeing as though it's Halloween, sit close to your device and listen carefully, because I've got a chilling tale about some university can't even speak and get so excited, about some university students who took a trip to the Black Lagoon to celebrate their first year in university. 6 friends went camping in the wilderness. After diving for several hours from the nearest town, they discovered a lagoon nestled beside a cliff, ideal for diving. They set up camp in the woods nearby and spent the evening swimming in the warm, clear water. As the sun sunk below the trees, one of the friends went up to the highest point of the cliff and jumped off, while the other 5 watched. Their laughter slowly subsided as they waited for him to surface. It only took half a minute for them to dive in after their friend, struggling and spluttering among the reeds in the lagoon. They searched hopelessly for him. Finally, they disentangled themselves and came up, but they never saw their friend again. Heartbroken, they returned to the city and passed a strange and lonely year in which their only solace was the knowledge that they would return to the lagoon in honour of the anniversary of their friend's death.
A year passed, and they returned to the lagoon as a memorial. But as they approached, they saw the friend standing there, head bowed. Excitedly, they called to him and began running towards him. But he didn't turn. As they got closer, they called him more desperately, but still to no avail. With joy, they ran towards him, but stopped dead when they saw not one, but 5 crosses on the waterside.
We are Shock Radio. We are Shock Radio.
Shock Hits plays music like this. And this. This is Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio. Shock Hits Live. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates.
Eminem Goods Overfit on Shock Radio. Now that was an absolute tune. We're talking right now. It's Amanda Holden and her bottom. Now, don't panic. I'm not going mad. These words are all the same context and what I'm referring to. So she's been flashing a little bit more flesh than planned. It was basically before her interview with Miss Lady Gaga. And what she did is she decided to upload a picture of herself flicking through her notes with her back facing right to the camera. So if you want to look on my Twitter or Facebook page, it is Shock Hits Live on Twitter, or it's facebook.com/Shock Hits. You can see a picture, a very cheeky one, of her bottom peeking out. Amanda, I wish you'd flipping behave. Honest to God, Lady Gaga can do it, that's fine, but you, I don't know. No. Thing is, I don't really bat an eyelid to what Lady Gaga does, because honestly, with her fashion, last week we were talking about how she wore her pet dog on her head as a kind of fashion statement. So yeah, with Lady Gaga, fine, but Amanda Holden, can't even speak. No. If you want to see the pic again, check out it's Shock Hits Live, and it's all up there for you. Right, we've got Swedish House Mafia and Take That coming up, plus we've got Goss on the Vamps. But first, this one is my mum's phase, God bless her. It is Taylor Swift, Shake It Off on Shock Radio. Here till 6.
I stay out too late. Got nothing in my brain. That's what people say. Shake it off.
Why not download the Shock Radio app straight to your phone and listen to us on the go?
Into the streets.
Swedish House Mafia, Save the World on Shock Radio. It is Shock Hits with me. I'm called Chloe Yates. How are you doing? If you've just joined me, ta for the company. I really appreciate it. However, what we're doing right now is we're going to talk about, first of all, how to find the horror clip, which is what I played earlier on in the show called The Black Lagoon. If you do want to check it out, hold your horses, as at the end of the show, I will stick it on our Shock Hits Live YouTube page and on Facebook as well. Right, if you do want to get in touch, it is @ Shock Hits Live, and like Shock Hits on Facebook, if you will, and I'd really appreciate it. Right. The Vamps. I don't know if you're a fan of them, but we've been teaming up with Demi Lovato, apparently, and they've got a top 10 hit called Somebody to You. Now, the Vamps, see, I'm a massive fan, and obviously they released Oh Cecilia together, but there's been rumours, I don't know whether you've heard, but there have been rumours that they're going to be collaborating with Neon Jungle for a Christmas single. Isn't that exciting? Do you know what? it could be like the next McBusted. They could be the next awesome band that formed together, and they're probably going to call themselves Neon Vamp. I've completely predicted the future. I know. What am I like? Do catch the video of Neon Jungle and the Vamps playing on the Nando's Grills series. Do type that in on YouTube. It's definitely one to see. Right, let's get the tunes going. It's Bastille and Owl City on its way for you. Plus, we've got Goss on Robbie Williams next. Playing right now, though, let's have a little bit of Take That on Patience on Shock Radio.
Just have a little patience. Have a little patience.
Shock Hits plays music like this. And this. This is Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
I was left to my own.
The biggest hits, the best music. Shock Hits.
Because my dreams are bursting at
the biggest hits, the best music. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
The Saturdays Missing You on Shock Radio. Let's have the news with Joe and Rach at 5 o'clock next.
You're listening to Shock News.
Police have ruled out any suspicious circumstances after a man plunged to his death this morning. Armed officers were scrambled to flats in Cheltenham Hill where they found a man fatally injured on the pavement.
A mother had to perform CPR on her 6-month-old son after he became unresponsive and started to turn blue. Kaylee Capewell, a 28-year-old mother of 2, has completed a first aid course and said if she hadn't acquired the skills needed from the course, then Jacob would have not made a full recovery.
A teenage student is believed to be the latest victim in a series of indecent exposures by a serial flasher in Salford. Police are investigating all incidents which have occurred in Eccles and Walkton area. Police are asking anyone with information to come forward. We spoke to students at Salford about how they would feel if they were flashed.
I'd probably just nervous and laugh and then just walk away. I can feel really bad, point and giggle. But I don't know. I'd be uncomfortable, obviously, but that's probably about it.
I'd be disgusted, to be honest. I'd probably run away. It would be a bit terrifying, actually. Yeah.
Armed troops dressed in full combat uniform have been deployed outside Horse Guards Parade in Whitehall as fears grow that terrorists will launch an Ottawa-style attack. As Britain's security alert remains set at severe, the Ministry of Defence said the events in Canada highlight the need to remain vigilant.
Scientists claim that men who have numerous lovers also have a low risk of developing prostate cancer. It was also claimed that men who are virgins are almost twice as likely to be diagnosed as those who are sexually experienced. Scientific genius or just tit-tat? We spoke to some of Salford's students to get their opinion.
But it increases the risk of STIs and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think at the moment it's kind of unproved. They've just kind of got it out there.
It sounds like a bit of a guess, to be honest with you. It sounds like a bit of rubbish, to be honest. I wouldn't really believe that if I was honest.
Yeah, you kind of wonder how they find that out, how they did the research for that.
Students being students, you go out and you do whatever. But like you said, increase the chance of STDs and stuff like that.
Are water-based taxis something you'd like to see in Manchester? If so, you'll be happy to hear that entrepreneur Stephen Cadwell has been working on the project since 2009. These vehicles, dubbed the Waxy, would offer alternative transportation to many areas such as Salford Quays. Stephen is currently seeking £75,000 to keep his idea afloat via the crowdfunding site Indiegogo.
Salford University's Media City campus is the host of the Greater Manchester Care Leaver Awards tomorrow. Over 80 young people aged between 16 and 25 have been nominated. Only 6% of care leavers who are 19 or under go on to higher education. The ceremony, in association with 4 of Manchester's universities, including Salford, offers 11 voucher prizes worth £100 each.
The future of the TV licence fee is up for debate at this year's Salford International Media Festival. Many politicians and media industry figures believe the funding of the fee needs radical change in a multi-channel digital age. A panel of industry experts will debate the matter on Wednesday the 19th of November.
Andy Murray is one win away from qualifying for the World Tour Finals following his victory over Julian Benneteau at Paris Masters. The 27-year-old Briton won his 3rd title in 5 weeks on Sunday and is 5th in the race to qualify for November's finals.
It was a big day for Marvel yesterday as the studio announced its full Phase 3 calendar made up of 9 films. The list includes Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Avengers Infinity War, and the very first Marvel film without a female lead, Captain Marvel. This announcement comes shortly after Marvel's official release of its recently leaked trailer for Avengers Age of Ultron.
There are no strings on me. Listening to Shock News.
Do you recognise this famous voice?
You're a big music.
Canceling cats got their canopies collapsing. Detonate a dime a dank daily do and go.
For those of you who didn't, it's star of Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe. The 25-year-old surprised fans with his rapping ability whilst appearing as a guest on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon last night.
Listening to Shock News.
We all know him for his love of partying, but now it appears we won't be witnessing James Argent's wild lifestyle for some time on The Only Way is Essex. The 26-year-old is reportedly suspended from the TV show amid claims of excessive partying and failing to appear for filming.
After performing 2 sold-out shows at Phones For You Arena this week, Ed Sheeran has taken time out from his tour to meet thousands of fans in Manchester to promote his new book, Ed Sheeran, A Visual Journey.
The time is 5:06. That's all from Shock News this evening. Join the team at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for the latest news. Now it's time to hand you back to Chloe.
Hello, Joe and Rachel in the studio. Hi.
Hi, hello.
Ed Sheeran, flippin' heck. So he's completely spent time to meet his listeners. Is that right? What was the story again?
So he's gone into Manchester because obviously he's touring at the moment, but he's taking time out because he's promoting his new book. So yeah, and there's he's met stars like Manchester stars. I know he's met Wayne Rooney as well. Rooney tweeted a picture actually,
and Robin van Persie.
Oh,
yeah.
They were both at the book. No, they weren't at the book signing. They were at the concert.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
Big
is
fans,
insane.
apparently.
See, I think a lot of people that have met Ed Sheeran, or even do you know what? I walked past him, and that completed me. He literally just the fact that he head nodded me and acknowledged me as a human being is enough for me. Have you guys ever had any? Have you ever met any celebrities personally at all?
Yeah, Greg James.
You've met Greg James.
I have, outside Radio 1 as well.
Wow, explain the moment.
He invited me. So I was down in London with my mother. I don't know what we were doing there, actually. It was just the two of us. We'd gone down for the day for something, and I said, "Oh, Mum, I know where Radio 1 is. I know where Radio 1 is. Let's go past. As I did, turned round, and there was just this huge 6'5" figure coming out the door, and I turned around again. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Greg James." She was like, "Ew." And he said, "You're all right, mate." And he shook my hand and he took me into Radio 1 and signed an autograph for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
What about you two? I am putting you on the spot, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? Show business. Have you ever met anyone famous at all?
I can't say I've met any celebrity face to face, just bumping into them on the street.
Oh, that's even better.
I walked into a shop and Jimmy Carr was there. This was in Leeds.
Oh, nice one.
His laugh.
I was with a friend and he actually went up to him and asked, "Are you Jimmy Carr?" And Jimmy Carr replied in American accent, "Yeah, I am." Thus concludes the story of how we met Jimmy Carr in Leeds.
Beautiful. Rachel, what about yourself?
No, I haven't. Only Emmerdale stars around Harrogate. That's about it, really.
No, you've seen Carla out of Corrie.
And I've seen Carla out of
Where did you see Carla?
In Media City.
Wow.
She was sat having a drink of wine with the boyfriend.
Well, news team, thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you, Chloe. The script on Shock Radio. Thanks again, the news team. Oh, they're a lovely bunch. I'm Chloe Yates. Hello, how you diddling? Right, if you do want to get in touch, it is @ Shock Hits Live, or it is facebook.com/Shock Hits. Right, even if you're rearranging your sock drawer or you're about to go on the biggest adventure of your life, do let me know. I care, whatever you're doing. But we're talking Robbie Williams. Now, I don't know whether you checked out my Twitter page or on Facebook, but I did put up a picture of Robbie Williams because he's been a bit quiet recently, hasn't he? Up until Monday, when he live blogged the birth of his second child, and at the same time, he published videos of his wife in labour whilst prancing around like a complete idiot. See, if that was me, honest to God, if he was dancing around whilst I was in painful contractions giving birth, I would bottle him, if I'm completely honest. Yet the lovely Ida Field managed to not kill Robbie at all because he sang Candy right in her face while she pushed. Again, I'll probably batter him. Now, it was only yesterday that he posted a picture of himself standing in front of a camera recording a special message. Now, in the snap, he wears a black and white makeup, making him look a bit like, what's it called? The Joker from Batman, which isn't a great image to start with. But along with the image, he says, filmed an announcement for you guys. Keep your eyes peeled on Thursday. And then he just ends the video like that. I have no idea what he means, but Robbie, if you're up to something, let us know, because you can't do something like that. You're driving us nuts. Maybe he's doing a greatest hits tour, perhaps, or I have no idea. But Rob, if you are listening, which of course you are, do put us out of our misery. Rightio, let's keep the tunes going. Let's have a bit of Maroon 5 after this. Plus, we've got my next chilling tale, especially for Halloween.
You're listening to Manchester's #1 student station.
I miss the taste of a sweet life. I miss the conversation.
Maroon 5 with Maps on your Wednesday afternoon. Right, if it's your day off, keep your flipping feet up and take it easy, because you're going to leave the talking to me. It's kind of what I'm best at anyway. Right, because it's Halloween on Friday, I have been telling you some chilling tales. Now, earlier on in the show, we had the tale of the Black Lagoon. Now, this again will be up on the Shock Hits Facebook page after the show. But for now, yet again, listen carefully, because I have another chilling tale for you.
Any day now, she'll say her first words. My wife and I have been playfully betting on what she'll say first, Mama or Daddy. I can hear my wife crooning over and over why she feeds her.
Mama, little girl, Mama loves you so much.
Sometimes she's not even subtle about it.
Say Mama, come on, Mama.
I don't mind it though. I'll still believe I'll win. When we first brought her home, she would scream and cry, and nothing my wife would say would calm her down. But I just knew how to hold her, to help her fall asleep. Our daughter was a daddy's girl. My wife needed all the handicaps she could get. I sit our daughter in her chair, and my wife and I begin babbling like chickens.
Mama, Daddy, say Mama, who's Daddy's baby?
I pull a gag from our little girl's mouth.
Please, what do you want from me? Please let go.
My wife's smile falls from her face. With a heavy heart, I put the gag back in as the girl starts to scream. I take her back to the room, locking her in and shutting the lights out. When I return, I find my wife crying. It's okay, honey, I tell her. The next one will be better. I promise.
Anyway, enough of that. That was quite scary, wasn't it? It is Halloween, not today, but it's on Friday. If you do want to hear my other chilling tales, there are 2 more. Honestly, I was sat in my room last night with my little recorder and I thought, do you know what? It's Halloween in a couple of days. Why not make a few creepy little stories? And I think my flatmates were a little bit concerned, but people that know me, they know I'm a bit odd anyway, so they didn't really ask, to be honest. It is Shock Radio. Let's kick off. We've got the script with the man who can't be loved next.
Where I first saw you, gonna camp in my sleeping bag.
The biggest hits, the best music. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
I've lost count of the ways I've tried to shut this down, but the flame.
Matrix and Future Bound with Control on Shock Radio. And before you heard the script with the man who can't be moved. If you want to listen again, it will be up on the Facebook page as well if you didn't catch it. Don't worry, because it's also on the YouTube page as well. I'm Chloe Yates. Hello. Stay tuned as we're talking about why Towie's Arge got suspended from Towie. Honestly, it makes me so mad. Coming up, though, we've got Paloma Faith with Changing next on Shock Hits.
Add us on Facebook /Shock Hits. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates.
Paloma Faith with Changing, only on Shock Radio. Now, I'm not sure whether you're a fan of Arge off Towie. Personally, I could say a lot about Arge, but for the sake of Shock Radio's regulations, I think I'll keep them to myself. But it's been revealed that James Argent, or whatever his name is, James Arge, I don't really care. Either way, he's been suspended from Towie over his constant partying. Now, it's been said that the Only Way is Essex the bosses of them, have literally pulled him to one side because he's been turning up late for filming, and they've warned him that if he doesn't quit what he's doing, he's going to face the axe. Now, apparently, he is on his final warning, so I don't really know where he goes partying or what he does to turn up to filming in such a state that they want to sack him. But in my kind of point of view, you carry on, Arge, because I'm I'm not a massive fan of Towie, let's say the least. But either way, Arge, if I were you, I'd stop partying and focus on your, pretend life. Now, I'm not sure if you remember, but it was a couple of weeks ago, he fell asleep in the wrong airport and caused a massive police manhunt, and it was all over Twitter, it was all over Facebook and all over Instagram. And what happened is he just fell asleep in a nearby hotel, and that was it, and he just didn't answer any of his calls, but he caused so much chaos. It's unbelievable. You're listening to Shock Hits. I am Chloe Yates. Thanks for joining me. We've got the Vamps and Clement Marfo on its way, but let's keep going. It is Coldplay with Viva La Vida on Shock Radio. Coldplay with Viva La Vida on Shock Hits. It's Wednesday afternoon, and if you're probably hungover, which you most likely are if you're a student, and you're feeling a little bit sorry for yourself, or maybe you're working really, really hard, no matter which one it is, you'll feel so much better by listening to Shock Radio. We've had some absolutely cracking shows on this morning, and if you don't like me and think I'm a bit weird, I don't mind, because we've got some brilliant shows after me, straight after 6. Now, we have another chilling tale to get you into the feel of Halloween coming up next, but first, let's keep going on Shock Radio. It's the Vamps with Cecilia.
Shock Hits plays music like this. And this. This is Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
The Vamps with Cecilia on Shock Radio. Rightio, it's Halloween on Friday, of course, so I have been telling some very spooky tales today. Now, the first one was called The Black Lagoon, and then the second tale I said today was called The First Words. Now, if you did miss these stories, I will stick them on Facebook for you, so you can have a listen. It is facebook.com/Shock Hits, or it'll be on YouTube, which is just type in Shock Hits on YouTube. Now, settle down, as I'm about to tell you the very next tale. Now, my friends, this tale is called Hell.
There was no pearly gate, The only reason I knew I was in a cave was because I just passed the entrance. The rock wall rose behind me with no ceiling in sight. I knew this was it. This was what religion talked about, what man feared. I had just entered the gate to hell. I felt the presence of the cave as if it was a living, breathing creature. The stench of the rotten flesh overwhelmed me. Then there was the voice. It came from inside and all around. Welcome. Who are you? I asked, trying to keep my composure. You know, the thing answered. I did know. You are the devil, I stuttered, quickly losing my composure. Why me? I lived as good as I could. The silence took over the space as my words died out. It seemed like an hour went by before the response came. What did you expect? The voice was penetrating, but patient at the same time. I don't know. I never believed any of this, I uttered. Is that why I'm here? They say the greatest trick you ever pulled was convincing the world you don't exist. No. The greatest trick I ever pulled was convincing the world that there is an alternative. What? There's no God? I shivered. The cave trembled with the words. I am God.
Tweet us now.
Radio, Clement Marfo with Us Against the World on Shock Hits. Give us a cheeky like on facebook.com/Shock Hits. Now, don't you dare go anywhere as I've got the biggest tunes on the way.
Good and tired.
Let's have some Pixie Lott with Nasty on Shock Radio. Time now is 10 to 6.
The biggest hits, the best music. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.
Can you blow my whistle, baby? Whistle, baby.
Flow Rider with Whistle. It is Shock Hits. And before you had Pixie Lott with Nasty. And what you did hear before Pixie Lott was, of course, my third chilling tale called Hell. Now, I do have a final chilling tale for you. However, to listen to that, you have to go onto my YouTube page, which is Shock Hits, and it will be on straight after 6 p.m. when I finish. And it is called I Hate It When Charlie Goes Away. It is a creepy one, but again, you've heard the first three, so I'm sure you'll be all right. Right, we've got Goss on to Lisa next, but first, it is Black Eyed Peas with Where Is the Love on Shock Hits next.
The biggest hits, the best music. Shock Hits with Chloe Yates on Shock Radio.